So one of the biggest questions that I'm asked is, what is my life purpose? How do I find it? What am I supposed to be doing in this world? So let's discuss that. Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back. My name is Debbie. This is the Mind, Body, Soul Evolution. We may or may not pull cards today. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. What is your life purpose? And I've mentioned this in videos in the past, depending on where I was at in the reading. And it's become something bigger than it needs to be. And at the same time, maybe it should have a little more emphasis in our life. And so this is what I mean. Back in the 1990s, if you remember Oprah Winfrey, she had her show, and she did a whole series about finding your life purpose. But finding your life purpose and finding your passion and what you're supposed to be doing, like as a career and making money, can be different things. So let's back off a little bit. Our purpose, we are a soul. We are an energetic being in a physical human form, in a physical world. Our purpose is to find out who our soul is, what our soul is, when we are born. Our soul knows, but then we come into this human form and everything changes. Everything is very concrete and everything is pretty much laid out. I mean, if you notice, life is kind of laid out for you. You go through these phases and those phases. You take your kids to the doctor and they're in this percentile for this and that percentile for this, and they're not living up to their expectations in this level and they're accelerating here, and it's already predetermined what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. Little kids, though, they know. They know who they are. They know what they like. They know what they like to do. They know the foods they like to eat. They know when they're tired, they go to sleep. They know when they're hungry, they eat. If they're not hungry, they're not going to eat. And what happens is we get into school. We get into a regular structured day because society has determined that our day needs to be structured. You need to have a certain wake-up time, a certain bedtime, a certain time to eat, a time to learn, a time to play, a time to follow the rules. And it can get overwhelming to the point where we forget who we are. And we have all these tools, right? Tarot is nothing more than a tool. It's a tool when we can't get clarity in our mind. Yoga. Page of Swords on the bottom. Yoga is a tool. Yoga is a tool to move your body, to move the energy through and out of your body. Right? And it creates a sense of calmness once we get all the harsh stuff out of ourselves. Once we get all the tension, frustration, mental anxieties, once we get that out, our body gets more relaxed. Yoga is a tool. Painting is a tool. Eating is a tool. Eating excessively or not enough, right? Addictions are all tools, forms of escapism, because we forget, we get lost in the day-to-day of this human world. So how do you know, and it's different from who you are, like what your purpose in this world is and what your job is. They're not always the same thing. Sometimes they are, and sometimes they're not. So your purpose, again, is to find out who you are and be that person. Now, if you're an adult like me, things get crazy. Your parents have expectations. Your teachers, counselors, they all have expectations. Maybe your family doctor had expectations. Your community does. If you come from a community where there is a lot of wealth and there are, everyone goes to an Ivy League school, there's a lot of pressure to be part of that. And what if that's not you? What if inside of you, you want to be an artist and you want to backpack and travel the world? We tend to give in to societal pressures. What if, though, you come from an area that is disadvantaged? What if you come from an area that there is no higher education? Folks barely make it through high school. They're barely making through life. They're living in their root chakra. And since there is no expectation and there's no one to cheer them on to the next level, chances are they won't go there, but maybe something inside of them has this desire. And we are formed by our family, our church, if you're part of a church organization, your community, your school, your neighborhood, your friends, your relatives, nowadays social media. So the easiest way to find your purpose, and we could pull tarot cards, and I do that for people to figure out what area or element that needs their focus. Go back to that little you, 5 years old. What is your favorite color? Like, what was your favorite color? And it could be different now, but still, what was your favorite color? Maybe it's just that simple. Write that down, even if it's not true today. What was your favorite color? What was your favorite fruit? Favorite food? Even if it was Pop-Tarts, write it down. It doesn't matter. Write it down. What foods did you not like? I have a lot of foods that I like now that, like, I love seafood now. I hated it as a kid. I just could not eat it. And there are a lot of foods I liked as a kid that I have grown out of. But still, go back to that. What was your favorite game to play? What did you do with your friends? Did you play jump rope? We did jump rope, we did jacks. We were always on our bikes, going somewhere. We would make little, out of like the little flowers from the clovers, the little white flowers. We would make wreaths for our hair. We would take bubble gum or gum wrappers and fold them in such a way, and we would make necklaces out of them. So so even if you're not doing that now, that's a form of creativity, right? So go back. What did you like to do as a kid, and what did you not like to do? Maybe it's that simple. So we move forward into adulthood, and we follow the trail, right? You go through grade school, middle school, high school, college. You get the degree because everyone is telling you this degree pays better, this has a better job, you make more money doing this. But and I'm bringing this up because we are in Barbeau's basket. I want to call it a belt. I don't know why. So if I call it a belt, it's not. It's a basket or a cradle. This is the very beginning of change. This change is going to take a while. It's not going to happen overnight. But the foundations, and I've talked about this in our videos, the foundations of our lives are changing. Now, some will notice it more than others. Some people won't even pay attention. They'll be going, nah, I'm fine. I'm exactly where I want to be and where I need to be. But others of us are going to feel changes. We're going to feel shifts. Again, it's about the foundational things. Things we used to like doing, we no longer do. I will give you an example. I've been teaching yoga for 19 years. I can't believe it's been 19 years. I love teaching yoga. The way I'm teaching, I'm done with. I'm bored with it. I teach the same, I try not to teach the same way, but sometimes when you're in a facility or a place, you can't get too artistic. So, I do on my Sunday class, but they really don't want any artisticness, right? They want you, artisticness, that's not even a word. They want you to kind of follow the protocol. It's an all levels class, do things that are meant for everyone, do the same thing over and over again, and it's driving me nuts. No. Am I going to stop? No. Am I going to change the way I teach? Definitely. Am I adding different things in or taking things out? Absolutely. When am I going to do that? It'll be an evolutionary thing, but I know that if I don't change, then I will walk away. And I know it's part of me to teach, but I also know it's part of me to teach in a different way. There will be more fluidity. There'll be some Pilates moves added to my classes. There'll be some strength moves that people did not know that they were capable of until we go there step by step. One of my favorite things is to see someone achieve something in their class or in their practice or in a pose that they never thought was possible for them. That's really what I love to do. But I'm a little stifled, right? So that's one of the things for me that's coming up. Another thing is that I'm tired. Tuesday is my only day off, which is today's Tuesday. What is today's date? The 21st. And I've kind of had to make that happen. I teach 6 to 10 yoga classes a week, which, for some yoga teachers, they're going to say that's not a big deal. But I'm doing that. And I'm cleaning offices 3 or 4 days a week. Anywhere from, 5 to 6 offices a week, which, some people would say, but that's not a big deal. But I'm also working out 3 days a week, and I'm taking dance classes 1 or 2 days a week. I'm doing the weight training 2 or 3 days a week. I found myself at the gym every day, like 7 days a week. I'm like, I can't. My life cannot be the gym because there's no time for anything else. So I'm changing that. I'm wearing myself out. I'm wearing myself out in my mental space. And if I'm feeling like my heart is not in it. And I put my reading online. I did not, and I just did it as a reel on Instagram and Facebook. I did not break it down for everyone. I have it completely written down for me. But I invited people, like, this is my reading for the week. Like, feel free to chime in if you have a comment about this. And there were none, and that's fine. That doesn't need to be. But it was confirmation. So how do you know your life's purpose is to find out who you are? You're given clues along the way. You're given clues about, let's see what's happening in the world today. This really lights you up in a good way. What is it that really excites you? What song comes on that you just stop what you're doing and you want to get up and dance and move or sing to it? And it may not be the song. It may not be the artist. Because there are some songs from artists that I don't like the artist, but man, I love the song. Or there'll be some artists like, I love this artist, but I do not like the song that they're putting out. But what is it about that? If it is music, if it is a song, is it the lyrics in the song? How does that make you feel? And just write that down. I feel free. I feel elated. I feel like myself. I feel like this is where I want to be. So if we follow the little trails of things that we like to do or that light us up from the inside, maybe it's just just getting up, going out for a walk, not knowing where you're going to go, but just kind of see what happens and getting away from everything. Maybe that lights you up. Maybe, for me, I like to be in New York City. When I can, I jump on the train, I go up there. I don't have to have a plan. I just arrive and see where the day takes me. And that's exciting for me. And I go, yes. And that's not that I want to live in New York, although at one point I did. I don't know if I would want to live in an apartment building, though. I live in a condo now, and I don't like that. So I can't imagine I would like living in an apartment building. But it's the energy. It's the pulse. It is the fact that you can walk out your door and go into 1,000 different directions and see something new every single day. I like that. So what lights you up? And the other thing is, what irritates you? What really irritates you? It just irritates you when someone tells you, don't do it this way, do it that way. Does it irritate you the political temperature, not just in the United States, but globally? No one is getting along. If even people on the same party lines, they're fighting with it amongst themselves. But what is it about that? Do you follow that and say, okay, what is the core though that's stirring something in me that's bothered? And do you have to take a political, an active role in this, or can you just see like why does this bother me? If it's a sense of unfairness, if it is a sense of betrayal, whatever it is, maybe you see where that has happened in your life, and maybe that's something that needs to be healed. Barbeau's basket here is just the beginning of bringing awareness with all these planetary shifts and these certain degrees, making out this basket form. And you look at the basket, it kind of looks like the Big Dipper, right? The base of the Big Dipper, and then we have the handle. It looks a little bit like that. And you get to decide what you carry in your basket. So lean into the things that light you up. I'm not going to be able to tell you what that is for you. You can schedule a reading and we can play around with that. And let's pull some cards and just to see in general what are the foundations that are shifting for the community in general. Let's just take a look at that. And this is how I would do your personal reading. But it's your basket. It's your energy that is shifting. You get to decide what you're putting in your basket and what you're carrying with you. And if the basket gets too full, you can decide, you know what, I really don't want this. I'm not including this in my basket. I'm not taking this with me. This is a big shift. And it's very incremental in some elements. And in other elements, it's going to feel like it's a major blast. So just what foundational things are starting to shift for us as a community? Let's just see. On the root, Six of Swords. Changing your mind. You're moving into a new direction where things feel a little more calm. Leading with your intuition, right? Crows. Whenever crows or ravens appear, that's always intuitively guided. Again, so what's changing in your foundation? You're moving more in line with your intuition. Yeah, okay. Again, you're moving in alignment with your intuition. Page of Wands. Fire energy. And the Barbeau's basket is made up of the elements of air and fire. Swords, air element. It's time to clear things out, like time to really clear the air. Fire, this is your passion. We want to have fun. Look at her. She's out in the middle of nowhere. Her sneakers are blue and red. So red would be like root chakra. And she's got her wand in the air. And there's a circle of light around her. That's, again, leaning into your intuition. Letting yourself go with whatever the feeling is. I am not saying to go off on people and start screaming and yelling and causing a ruckus. That's not what I'm saying. If you're frustrated with someone, Four of Swords, sit with it. Sit with it. Be the bigger person. Sit with it and see what it's trying to tell you. Sometimes we need to go off, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we just need to sit with the information. Now, it was not, for some, this is not the time to act, but it's the time to kind of feel. It's a time to take things in and feel it. And then when the time is right, you'll know when the time is right to actually take movement. On her pants, I'm going to try to show this to you because I love this deck. It's one of my favorite decks. I'm trying to find one here. If you can see on her pants, these are chameleons. Chameleons, right? They blend in. They are ever changing. This is the mind, body, soul evolution for a reason. We evolve mind, body, and soul every single day. We get to change. We get to blend in. We get to stand out. We get to decide. Change is coming. Let yourself be the change. You have the Fool as the last card. And this is for the collective community. New beginnings. And again, right, leaning into your intuition, moving forward into a new direction, leaving the past behind. There's a part of the past that you're leaving behind. It could be a broken heart. It could be part of the past where you felt disassociated, disconnected with your community, or with certain people, or with certain jobs, or the way you're doing them. Like, I'm feeling a disconnection with the way I'm teaching my yoga classes. I'm feeling a disconnection for other things as well. And I'm feeling really pulled for something else. We'll get to that. And I'll get to that when I decide to put that out there. Leaving the past behind. And here we go. And yellow is the color of the sacral chakra, your solar plexus rather. She's highlighted in gold and yellow. The solar plexus is your core, your torso, right from the top of the hip bone up to the heart. That whole big area, right? It's the abs that everyone wants to work on at the gym. But this is how you see yourself. This is how you feel yourself. This is where your gut feelings lie. that intuition, that gut feeling. When you feel it in your gut, that's the place you feel it at. She's on the edge of a cliff. Sacred geometry, I'm always going to bring this up when I see it. That's Archangel Metatron. And if VG is watching, she'll go, yep. She's always talking about Metatron because his brother Sandalphon is one of my guides. But here, in her hand, amethyst, intuition, her crown or her third eye chakra, leading with that. She's on the very edge. She's holding onto the tree branch, and she's leaning over so far that she's ready to dive into the pool of life, into a brand new pool. You know, in a lot of religious texts, baptism, right, is a cleansing. It's a metaphor for cleansing, right? Usually you dip into water, or they pour water over your head or something, and that's a form of cleansing. This could be a whole new spiritual revolution for a lot of people. Trusting that you don't know where you're going to land when you land in the pool. But you're okay with it because you know you're going to come out of this refreshed and renewed and on the path to move forward into a place of joy. Who doesn't want to be this person? Right? Who does not want to be out there just, you know, waving your baton in the air and just dancing and having just the time of your life? And she's on her own. All four of these women are on their own. There's no other person in this deck, in these specific cards with them. They're following their own intuition and not the expectations or the suggestions or the leadership of anyone else. The one more card underneath of the Six of Swords is the Ace of Swords. New ideas. New inspirations. And again, here she's got the crow. She's got the infinity sign. Remembering that you yourself are infinite. You're not just this body. You are not just this life. You are not just the things that you have done, the mistakes that you've made, or even the accomplishments, right? All those collectively make your life. But we're not defined by each and every little thing. And then there's a staircase. Right? There's a staircase here, right? And the spiral looks like a staircase. Elevating your thought process, taking yourself to a higher degree. There's a beam of light shining right out of there. And again, I so love this deck. And right here is a mathematical situation here. I don't know if that is an algebraic combination. But being a little more discerning, breaking things down in a whole new way. And one more card, then we're going to have to stop from there. Nine of Cups. When you follow, moving into the unknown, when you trust that you could fall, and it's okay to fall, and it's okay to let go and fall, because you're falling in to a whole new passion. Look at this card, the treasure chest. This, everything that you want is right underneath your feet. You just have to take the leap of faith. Look at this. Both of them, their arms are out. Her arms are spread out. Right? So and look, the cards, colors are all the same. There's golden amber. The cards are all the same. Trust your intuition. Trust your gut. Not society and not the mind. Learn new things. Your job here to find your purpose is to learn who you are, to be the study of you. I study tarot. I also study me. Look up your astrology. Look up your sign. You know, I have my chart here. And You go in. This is astrolab.com or astrology.com. Just type into Google search how to get my astrological chart. There'll be a couple things popping up. It doesn't matter. Pick one. You need your name, your date of birth, the date, the month, day, year, the time of birth, if you have it. At least if you don't, it'll ask you then, okay, is it morning or afternoon? And your place of birth. And it will come up with your chart. And take it from there. Start with and it will tell you what your what your sun sign is. That's the sign you were born under. And your rising sign. Look at those two first. And it's going to take a while. Right? It's going to take a while because you have 12 houses and all the planets and who's in what house with what planet and who's sharing what. And there's a north node and a south node. There's a Lilith. There's like, oh my God. But it's one thing at a time. So if I'm a Sagittarius, but I'm a triple Sagittarius. So if you just Google traits of a Sagittarius, they are the explorers. They are the truth seekers. Among anything else, we want the truth. We are natural philosophers. We will excavate and do whatever it is it takes to get to the truth of a situation. And boy, that is me. I will call out things pretty regularly, probably more so now than before. And so that's not true. This is what happened, or this is how that happened, or this, whatever. But that's in my star chart. And then you may find that some of the traits of your astrological sign might align with some of your familial traits. And that's another thing, but that's a discussion for another day. When we go into soul contracts and that kind of thing. They'll pull your chart one thing at a time. Don't get all caught up. If you look at this, you go, oh my gosh. I mean, look at this. It looks like a shit show. But if I turn it this way, kind of looks like a little basket. Kind of a little bit looks like the Barbo's basket. Right? This is like a basket shape here. And this is the handle connecting the basket. I'm just saying, look at the shapes inside there. Look at your astrology, your sun sign first. What are the dominant traits? What are the secondary traits? And each sign has it's a flower, its color, its birthstone color, and it also will have a list of its favorite colors, the luckiest day of the week for you, born at that day and time underneath that sun sign. So just look at that. Like my lucky day is Thursday, although sometimes I kind of go like, really? Sometimes some of the shittiest things have happened on a Thursday. But they've also been life-changing things and have brought me into a place of deeper thinking and deeper realization. So they may have been shitty or crappy at the moment, like my step-grandfather passed away on a Thursday. I was completely devastated, did not see it coming. I was just horrified. I was like 18 or 19. But it also showed me my capacity to love. If I could have that much grief around someone who's not... He was my grandfather for all intents and purposes. My grandfather passed when my mom was only 6, so I never knew him. So he was my grandfather. But it showed me my capacity to love. If I could grieve that much for someone, that means I had a big heart to be able to have that kind of love. So even the difficult things are there to show you your capacity. This is your capacity. Yes, we're going to go through this. Yes, we're going to go through some choppy waters because we're through some difficult times and some rocky roads because we're moving into a new area. Barbo's basket is opening that potential up for you. So, your purpose. Find out who you are. Maybe even look up your name. What is the meaning of your name, your first name? What is the meaning of your first name? Do your family history. We have a lot of family history on my dad's side. Look up the history of the name. And there's going to be more than one. Do you have a coat of arms? My dad's family has a coat of arms. I had that put on a t-shirt when we had a reunion. Just kind of look into that. Does it resonate with you or does it not? If it doesn't, then don't be hard on yourself to, oh, well, why doesn't it? Okay, it's fine. That's fine. Move on to the next thing. If there's nothing attached to it, then move to the next thing. And okay, oh yes, I love this color. Oh, like my chart, my favorite color is pink. Although everyone thinks it's purple, because I teach yoga, everyone just presumes it should be purple. It's not, it's pink. And that's fine. I don't have a whole lot of pink in my house because I want it to be something really special. And if I over inundate myself with it, then it just becomes like something every day. And that's how I look at it. But my chart, when you look up Sagittarius, our lucky day is Thursday. Our colors are orange and blue. And it says you should wear orange and or blue on Thursdays. Or is it orange and purple? I forget. But I'm going, okay. Well, I will do that and just see what happens. Just see. I'll just throw on something orange or get something orange. I don't have a whole lot of orange in my closet. Maybe get a couple orange yoga shirts and just see what happens when I wear them on a Thursday. Little things like that. But the clue is, do more of the things that light you up. The more you move into if you like listening to music, if you like going for hikes, if you like cooking, do more of the things that make you feel calm and more in tune with yourself. And do less of the things that make you feel tired and frustrated and anxious. And just see what happens. That's your job, is to find out who you are. That's your purpose in life. Whether that purpose leads you to use those talents and skills as your career, maybe not. And that's not what it's about. It's about being happier. It's about being this. Living your life like this. Pulling out of this. We have these moments and we need them. And living life like this. That is your purpose. So what steps will you take to find your purpose, to find out who you are in this world? If you want help with that, you saw I just pulled a couple cards and we got a little clarity. This is for the general collective. If you want a reading for yourself, reach out. There's multiple readings that we could do. We can do just a general reading around this to clear away some of the questions or to give you verification of things you already know. Okay, everyone, that is the discussion for what is your purpose. It is to find out who you are and be that. Until next time, I send you light and love and enjoy the week.